Hi and welcome. My name is Bobbi. I'm a registered professional counselor and certified fitness trainer. My journey to mental and physical health is my core motivation in doing the work I do. Today, I want to share some info on generalized anxiety and my personal journey toward overcoming anxiety in my life. I'd like to begin just by acknowledging that a certain amount of anxiety is not a bad thing. In fact, a certain amount of anxiety can actually be helpful in alerting us to trouble and danger. However, when worry takes over, it can hurt rather than help, making life and relationships difficult. Individuals with generalized anxiety struggle with persistent and disturbing worries on a daily basis. They may experience physical symptoms such as restlessness, shortness of breath, muscle aches, sweating, and insomnia. There are many factors that account for generalized anxiety. Between 30 and 50% of the cause may be genetic, but early childhood experiences such as a loss of a parent, feeling the need to comfort and protect a parent, parental separation or divorce, or parental overprotection, parental statements that the world is a dangerous place, recent stresses in life, unrealistic expectations about yourself and others, relationship conflict, poor coping skills, and many other factors contribute to the experience of anxiety. What we experience in our first family becomes a part of our enduring belief about what to expect from others and the world. I was brought up in a family with generational patterns of alcoholism, infidelity, abuse, codependency, and abandonment. As a child, having both a frightened and a frightening parent left me feeling deeply unsafe. As a result of my childhood experiences of verbal, physical abuse, broken attachments through parental divorce and abandonment, fear had become a driving force in my life. I struggled with deep insecurity, anxiety, distrust, and a lot of repressed anger. I lived most of my life in flight or fight mode, and I had no idea until I was in my mid-40s when I had a light bulb moment and learned about my own anxiety through my psychology course. I started to piece together the physical symptoms, thoughts, and feelings I was reading about with my own experiences, and I easily diagnosed myself with general anxiety. Some of those physical symptoms included restlessness, racing heart, shortness of breath, loss of appetite. I was continuously plagued with a stream of irrational thoughts that increased my anxiety. I felt powerless and I was stuck in a pattern of predicting the worst. Often, anxious individuals expect that they're not going to be able to handle stress and demand certainty in an uncertain world. They have difficulty living in the present moment and enjoying life. Those with generalized anxiety are anxious about things that are personally relevant to their concerns. And depending on your personality, you might worry about being rejected, making mistakes, not achieving success, getting sick, or being abandoned. Furthermore, they may avoid or leave situations that make them feel anxious or try to compensate for their anxiety by trying to be overly controlling, by being overly concerned about approval, or by trying to be perfect. Looking back, it is certainly evident to me now the ways that I coped with my own anxiety. In an unconscious effort to make these uncomfortable feelings go away, I coped with anxiety in many ways, including extreme perfectionism through excessive cleaning and orderliness, strict eating and exercise plans which led to obsessive behaviors and disordered eating. Perfectionism and OCD is actually a result of programming and early conditioning. It's an ingenious adaptation to a chaotic environment. And when life has been uncertain and chaotic, perfectionists latch onto structure and guidance as a way to control and bring safety and security. Unfortunately, it's a self-defense strategy that creates more problems than it actually solves. As a young girl, I tried to control my environment in various ways, including keeping an unusually organized bedroom, and had particularly close attachments with my cats in an unconscious effort to feel comfort and safety. As an anxious teenager, I self-medicated with drugs and alcohol, and as an adult, I catastrophized, assumed, I jumped to conclusions. These were coping behaviors I believed would help me stay one step ahead of the game in order to protect myself. Consequently, these behaviors were self-sabotaging, as oftentimes what we fear we can actually create. When I experienced less than good behaviors in my relationship with others, it would automatically take me back to negative and traumatic experiences from my past. Once triggered, I would rely on my black or white thinking and judge them to be either a good or a bad person. There was no in between. This unconscious transference of past events onto present relationships was a huge discovery for me. To this day, I need to remain conscious and self-aware that my past triggers don't transfer into the present, creating unnecessary insecurity and fear. Everyone has different triggers, and identifying them is one of the most important steps to coping and overcoming anxiety. Identifying your triggers can take some time and self-reflection. I wasn't comfortable with self-reflection. I was in the habit of repressing emotions and keeping busy to avoid feeling. A critical turning point came when I finally stopped and I initiated quiet time to be present and actually listen to what was going on in my body, mind, and spirit. I want to share with you some of the specific ways I've gained more control over my anxiety and help others to do the same using CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. First, if you want peace of mind, you have to start controlling what you allow in it. What you fill your mind with largely determines the level of stress in your life. One of my most favorite psychology quotes is, "You don't have to believe everything you think." And it's so true. Why do we get sucked into believing that if we think something, it must be true? What I identified working through CBT exercises for anxiety was that actually many of the thoughts I had about myself, others, and the world, once questions, were not even true. They were untrue, unhealthy distortions that were contributing to most of the negative moods and my anxiety. Think about some of your own most common anxious thoughts. Ask yourself, is this thought realistic? Am I basing my thoughts on fact or feeling? What's the evidence for this thought? Could I be misinterpreting the evidence? Am I viewing the situation as black and white when it's really more complicated? Am I having this thought out of habit, or do facts actually support it? Keeping a thought journal is both helpful in raising self-awareness and modifying negative thinking. Sometimes we may be taking things too personally, engaging in fortune telling about events that never happen or predicting catastrophes that turn out to be mere inconveniences. Many worriers have a set of rules about life, such as, if I'm not perfect, I'm a failure, or if someone doesn't like me, it's a disaster. Other rules might be, I need to know for sure, or I should never feel anxious. By using CBT techniques, you can learn to identify and modify your thinking in ways that are more realistic and fairer to yourself. So here are some of the ways. We want to identify and confront our fears. Recognize the specific situations, sensations, or thoughts that are disturbing you. You might be asked by your therapist to rank your fears from least feared to most feared and identify what you're actually afraid will happen. Through gradual and guided exposure to these fears, you may begin to modify the way that you experience these situations. Another one is learning how to deal with worry. Like many worriers, you may believe that your worry prepares and protects you. You can learn how to distinguish between productive and unproductive worry, how to accept limitations and live with reasonable uncertainty, how to enjoy the present moment in a non-judgmental way, and how to view your worries as simply background noise that doesn't need to control you. You will also learn how to turn off the sense of urgency that makes you feel constantly under pressure. So we need to develop emotional intelligence. Many worriers have a hard time coping with their emotions. They often believe that their emotions will overwhelm them, will last indefinitely, or they don't make sense. Life is not about eliminating emotions. It entails learning to live meaningfully with your emotions, and CBT can help you come to terms with your emotions that also give richness and meaning to your life. Another one is improving your relationships. Your anxiety might often be related to conflicts and misunderstandings in your relationships. By identifying these problematic issues, developing more effective ways of thinking about your relationships, and actively coping to make things better, become a problem solver. This is important as well because worriers often generate problems that don't exist and avoid solving problems that they can address. This is because a lot of their anxiety is based on avoiding experiences that make them anxious. With CBT, you can become a practical and productive problem solver, which will make you more confident about potential problems. Also, decreasing your arousal. You're more likely to feel anxious when you are physically aroused. So medications can be helpful in reducing arousal, and you should examine how much caffeine and alcohol you use. Regular exercise, breathing and relaxation exercises, prayer and meditation are also very helpful to calm your body, mind, and spirit. It's my hope that you find value in this information. Feel free to share this video or reach out if you would like help in overcoming your anxiety. I would count it a privilege to walk alongside you and create a safe place for you to gain self-awareness and consciousness into both your problems and your personal strengths, and encourage you with the idea that life's challenges are an opportunity for growth and empowerment. Until next time, take care and God bless you.